Flightline, undefeated, untested, winner of the Longines Breeders' Cup Classic, Terry Finley, representing West Point Thoroughbreds, one of the ownerships involved in this great partnership. Terry, just, what are the words to describe Flightline?
Yeah, I thought he got tested today. I mean, like I know you're supposed to stay like your opponents and give kudos to your opponents, but Life is Good ran better than I thought he was going to run overall, and they laid it down. I talked to Iran after the race, and all he said was, "Man, we were going very fast down the backside." So just delighted, especially for the horse. You know what? It was the coolest thing all week to be in town and to be around the barn, or like the breakfast and everything. People they hey Jane. They just had a sparkle in their eye when they talked about Flightline. So I've said it. We're all fans at heart, and obviously privileged to be part of this horse. But as the fan in all of us, like we're like, boy, this is really good for the business. Away from those horses, they were 8 in front down the backside. I was like, I didn't even see what they went 3/4 and 7 and change. So
that's
I'm glad I didn't see that. I'm glad I didn't see that because, I mean, going to mile, who does that, right? Run away from those horses like he did, and to see those horses, really everyone a Grade 1 winner. I was like, either this is going to be really good or we're going to have some problems. So I think it was one or the other as they went into the far turn. But I saw him, he gave him a break, and he just gave him a shot to kind of throttle down a little bit. And obviously Flavin has a lot of confidence in this horse, always has, and I think that confidence is warranted. So, just delighted. I said something to Flavian after the race, and he was just beaming.
And for those listening in, Flavian Pratt riding in the last race,
Come here,
and watching the performance he put on today, undefeated, untested, but this was certainly a statement.
Well, he's been brilliant. Brilliant is his normal. So he didn't disappoint. He never has. So we're just really thrilled.
And Jane Lyon, Jane's part of the ownership, and you also bred this horse in your Summer Wind farm, and I know how much these horses are like children to you. So emotions?
Really great. All's great.
Well, I'll turn it over to the press here, and I'm sure everybody has some very important questions for you. Dave Brenning first.
John, when you saw the fractions, the 3/4, I think it was 107 and 4, you just say what your emotion was? And
is that what it was?
Yeah, I thought it said 9 and 4, but someone told me so.
I didn't. I think I missed that split, and I'm kind of glad I did. You know me. You've been covering this going into this, David, and I try to not get out ahead of the story. We just wanted to march into this race, and he's just a remarkable horse. In the words of Bud Delp, he's one of the best horses to ever look through a bridle. He's just that good.
Could you enjoy the stretch drive when he got past Life is Good and it's all clear sailing? Could you just exhale?
Yeah, a little bit. I haven't been sleeping. I haven't been sleeping for 2 weeks, so I'm a little tired. But he's just a great horse.
Thank you.
Next.
For all three of you, your level of confidence has been so high, not just, it seems, because of the merits of the horse, but because of whatever situation the horse can be in. Can you discuss now that confidence and why you felt like, it wasn't a case of saying, things in horse racing can happen? Can you just talk about how this might have been a little different than that?
Well, this is just, how do you describe greatness? This is a rare horse that happens every 20 or 30 years, one of the best American racehorses we've seen in a long time. And I'm talking back to Secretariat, Seattle Slough, you go through the list. And what I've tried to be is a good steward to him, be fair with him. And if you're good with your horses, they're good with you.
And Kosta Hronis joining us now as well. And we were talking earlier, obviously this horse just so impressive with all the partners and this incredible team that you've had behind him. Just kind of take us through a little bit, the team behind Flightline.
Yeah, well, the team behind Flightline, I mean, I've said this before and I'm going to say it again in front of the world. As blessed as the partnership is to be all together as partners and have a horse like Flightline in our lifetime is just unbelievable and great. But more importantly, Flightline is so blessed to have John Sadler and his team, because the patience he had with Flightline and what he did to teach him. He was a fast horse all the time. He was quick and fast, and he wanted to run full blast all the time. John, Juan Leiva's assistant, and the team, they turned this horse into a racehorse, and he's the champion today who he is because of John Sadler.
Yeah.
And the question that everybody, of course, is asking, and decision to be made, is it possible when we see him next year?
I mean, you know, we're in a partnership. This isn't Hronis Racing, so we're in a partnership, and we're very respectful people, and we respect the partnership, and we'll all get together and discuss it at a later time and decide, and we'll always do what's best by the horse. I can promise you that. So we'll get together, and we'll just even Steven and just decide together how we want to do this.
And so from here today, where does he go right now after he moves back?
Back down to Rice Road. have a good dinner down there, and I'll be there in the morning to check him out, and then we'll make some, you know, we'll let him tell us what the best thing is.
Okay, anybody else? One more, and then we'll wrap this up.
Hey John, Tim Layden from NBC. Can you put into words the emotions that we just saw you feeling? Like what is behind that kind of reaction?
Well, I think for me, it's a culmination of your life's work. You know, when you've worked with horses your whole life, it's just, you know, most trainers don't get a horse like this. So I'm just feeling very blessed. You know, I'm just glad it went. You know, he's such a good horse. You know, he doesn't get in trouble. You don't have to force it. You know, I gave Pratt absolutely no instructions. You know, I said make sure he's alert in the gate. That's about as much as I told him. Because with this kind of horse, you know, you just want to stay out of his way. And Flavian is behind a fast horse, and Life is Good, who's a champion, and he just kept him in the clear.
What is the feeling as he strides with the water?
Great, you know. For me, there's a large degree of relief because I know he's that good, you know, and I'm happy I didn't screw it up.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
How much would you like for another chance with him for 2023?
Oh, I'm not going to get into that today. We're just going to enjoy this win tonight and deal with that stuff later.
Will you be available to barn this for a certain time tomorrow, John?
Yeah, let's say 9 o'clock or something.
John, when he had some of his setbacks as a young horse, did you ever think that it could ever get together like this, or did you ever think that this horse has all this talent, but we may not be able to see it just because he keeps finding inventive ways to...
Not really. I mean, you know what? To speak to the ownership, when we had the setbacks, I always said, you know, we're going to do exactly what's correct, and ownership has backed me up 100%, you know, all the time. So we tried to be proactive with anything we did with him, and that's what we did.
I find it amusing how narratives can change. When you were here at the Accelerate, everybody questioned if you could win outside of California. Even now you won 2 classics in Kentucky.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's just a thrill. You know, Keeneland's special. The atmosphere was electric out there today. They do a really nice job. Keeneland management was with me from day one, you know, saying anything you need, we're here to help you. So I want to say thank you to Keeneland, thank you to the Breeders' Cup, and thank you to my owners.
Hey John, often horse racing gives us triumph and tragedy at the same time. Epicenter got banned off today. Apparently he's okay, we don't really know. Is that just, I mean, you've seen everything in racing, is it just happened that way?
You don't want to jump to any conclusions too soon. You know, I mean, a lot of today is a blur for me, so I didn't even see that yet. So I can't really comment on that. I just hope the horse is okay. And beyond that, like I said, You know, a lot of it is blurry.
Feeling in the stretch was just.
Yeah, because he's that good, you know, so you just want it to go the way it's supposed to go, because he doesn't have to go be better, he just has to be himself.
2 more questions, please.
Yeah,
When you put in perspective this field, like I said, all grade 1 winners.
yeah.
You know, they've been calling Life is Good a generational horse and stuff, and for him to just demolish him like that, I mean.
You know, he's got that rare, you know, everybody said a fast horse, but he's a fast horse that can carry at a classic distance. You know, and that's what's one of the, you know, really, if you look at a racehorse, everybody was assuming that since he could run him 108, that he would be lesser when he ran further. But the reality is he's better when he runs further, because you really separate yourself.